Hello friends, today in this video I am going to explain the elegies. They are very famous poems in the Anglo Saxon literature. So when we say elegies, actually what we mean here is a song about any sad event. It is not like in Arabic, for example, we say elegies. If we translate this word, we can find that the meaning of this word is rethāء in Arabic. So don't assume it like this. Elegies in English are about any sad events, right? So, and yes, I will now go through the poems, but let me just give you some other informations about it. So I said that they are about any sad events, and they are Anglo Saxon poems. They are very important, and not in this video, actually in all the videos I will be explaining 3 poems, and then in the last video I will be just comparing these poems, or the common ideas about these 3 poems. So let's go to the first one. Let's start explaining the first poem. It is The Wanderer. Well, always the one alone longs for mercy, the Maker's mildness, though troubled in mind, across the ocean ways. Well, by saying here the ocean ways, he means maybe the sea. It's the kenning. This is a really important thing to know, because in Anglo-Saxon elegies or poetry we can find this sentences. So for example, the ocean ways or the whale's ways. So he means the sea, and this technique is called kennings. Okay. He has long been forced to stir with his hands the frost-cold sea, and walk in exile's paths, word is fully fixed. So at the very beginning of this poem we can see that there is a person. He is sad, yes, and he is in a very bad situation. He is on exile, and exile is really bad for the Anglo-Saxon people. They hated exile. They hated being alone in the nature. If we compare this thing with romantic ideas, we find it very different, because at these times, at the times of the Anglo-Saxon, they thought that nature is not bad, but they didn't like nature because it was dangerous, and because a person can face his fate in the nature. So it was really dangerous, and they didn't prefer it. It was something, not to be wished for them. Here the sentence word is fully fixed. It's really important, because Anglo-Saxon people, as you know, pagan people, they thought that word, which means fate or destiny in modern English, but in Old English it was called word. So they thought that the fate of a person is fixed, is fully fixed. But if we compare it with Abrahamic religions, we find that fate is partly fixed. You can choose your fate, and it is different, right? Let's continue. Thus spoke the wanderer, mindful of troubles, of cruel slaughters, and dear kinsman's downfall, often alone in the first light of the dawn. And you see here, he says the first light of the dawn, because at this time, at dawn, there is no person out, all people in their houses. So he is trying to highlight the idea of being alone at nature with no one beside. I have sung my lament. So all the elegies, they are lament. A person who is lamenting something. There is none living to whom I would dare to reveal clearly my heart's thoughts. I know it is true that it is a noble man's lordly nature to closely bind his spirit's coffer. So, this is the way all the Anglo-Saxon elegies start. We are introduced to a character, and this character is complaining about their, his or her fate. They have a problem, and they are representing the problem for us, the audience. And it is like a monologue, right? It's like a monologue, or even it's like a stream of consciousness, I don't know, because the speaker here address no one. It's like he is speaking to himself and complaining about his or her problems. For one with few dear friends will understand the path of exile claims him, not patterned gold, a winter-bound spirit, not the wealth of earth. He remembers whole holders and treasure taking, how in his youth his gold-giving Lord accustomed him to the feast. That joy has all faded. Again, here is a very important idea: the transitory nature of everything. He is talking about how he used to have a very happy life with his friends, with his king. He used to take treasure from his king with his people, but now all that is, that exists no longer. All that fade, and he is alone, he is sad, he is in a very bad situation. So all the joy of life might go one day. Over the high seas, on the grey wharf shared, Again, he is talking about, his friends when they was died, but it's in this line. I just jumped some lines, but anyway, I'm going to go back. And so I cannot imagine for all this world why my spirit should not grow dark when I think through all this life of men, how suddenly they gave up the whole floor, mighty young retainers. Thus this middle earth drops and decays every single day. So here he is saying that everything is decaying on this earth, but we have to mention this idea. Thus this middle earth, it's a pagan belief, right? Because Anglo-Saxon people were they believe in paganism. They are pagan people, and they believe in Middle Earth. Middle Earth is the place where people, where we human live. We human live in this Middle Earth. And maybe in Asgard there's gods, then we are here, and maybe devils and bad creatures under us. But as I said, keep in mind that this is a pagan belief. We will find contradictory things about Christianity or Abrahamic religious beliefs in this poem. So you see right here this Middle Earth, and we said that it is a pagan belief, but here we will find a sense of advice, and it is the way that all the Anglo-Saxon elegies end in this sense, a sense of advice. But this advice, this couple of lines make us think that it is, it is a Christian belief. But again, these lines are like a lesson, and we think that these lines are written by a priest, or by maybe people in the church. So because it was, it was oral literature, but then it was written by the priests, so they it is thought that the priests wrote these lines because they have a sense of advice and a sense of Christian belief. The wise man must realize how costly it will be when all the wealth of this world stands waste, as now here and there throughout this middle earth walls stand blasted by wind, right? So here he is talking about the walls, the castles, everything is decaying, right? There is something who is, who is still in life, that's God maybe, but everything is lost, everything will decay. So the wine halls topple, their rulers lie deprived of all joys, the proud old troops all fell by the wall, war carried off some, sent them on the way, one a bird carried off over the high seas, when the grey wolf shared with death, and one a sad-faced man covered in an earthen grave. Well, as I said, he is talking about his friends. He is lamenting himself and how he lost all his friends, all his comrades, and he lost his king, his people, and he is very sad. Why he is very sad? And he is looking, it seems like he is looking for another king to help him. Well, it is because of the idea of revenge. Revenge is a very important idea in the Anglo Saxon times. So he lost his friends, they died, but he could not revenge for them. He could not take revenge, and that is why he is so sad, because it's shameful on him, not to revenge his people, but he cannot. He is alone now in the sea. Okay, he who deeply considers with wise thoughts this foundation and this dark life, old in spirit, often remembers so many ancient slaughters and says these words, where has the horse gone? Where is the rider? Where is the giver of gold? By saying that the giver of gold, he means his king, because it is kenning. By using the techniques of kenning, so the gold giver is the king. Where are the seats of the feast? Where are the joys of the whole? As I said, he is lamenting the beautiful life that he had lost. Oh, the bright cup! Oh, the brave warrior! Oh, the glory of princes! How the time passed away, slipped into nightfall as if it had never been. Okay, so look at the way here the Anglo Saxon elegies end. So said the wise one in his mind, sitting apart in meditation. He is good who keeps his word, and the man who never too quickly shows the anger in his breast, unless he already knows the remedy. Well, there's remedy. What is the remedy? A noble man can bravely bring about. It will be well for one who seeks mercy, consolation from the Father in heaven, where for us all stability stands. As I said, there is contradiction between Christian belief and pagan belief. We say that Middle Earth is a pagan belief, but here the Father in heavens, maybe he means Jesus, I don't know. So it's a Christian belief. So as I said, it seems like the priest who wrote down this poem wrote a lesson by himself. You know, it's quite interesting. Like the priest is saying, well, this is the lesson of the poem. Actually, we might explain or interpret this poem in a more wide way, but the priest who wrote this poem, makes us think in this direction. And you see at the end of these elegies, we find that they end in a sense of advising people to remember God. So as I said, let's just consider the plot of these elegies. At first, we have a person. He is sad and he is introducing his problem. Then he starts to explain his situation, his very, very bad situation. Then he in the climax part, he explains his situation, his bad experiences that he have went through, and at the end we find that there is a sense of advice. And this is basically this is the plot of the Anglo-Saxon elegies. I will be talking about the other poems, as the seafarer and the wife, in another video. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like the video, and bye.